Hello and welcome to Concert Pipeline. I'm Steve Jones. Today on the program, we have 40 Feet Tall. I had a chance to interview them a few years ago, kind of at the beginning of the pandemic, and they were, I think, one of my early Zoom interviews. I had a chance to interview the whole band, actually. They were all locked up together and I think making music at the time, but doing it safely. I was away on an excursion in an Airbnb that had, where the town had very little service, if any, and so it was an interesting experience. I got dropped from the Zoom a couple of times. We'll talk about it at the beginning of the interview, but it was one that was kind of memorable for those reasons. One of the ones that you don't forget for a while, right? 40 Feet Tall. Yeah, I had a chance to talk to Cole and Ian from 40 Feet Tall. They came on and chatted. We talked about their new EP that they put out last year, Tunnel Vision, and then their other music as well that they put out since we chatted more a few years ago. So before we get into all of that, though, I want to kind of catch everybody up on my the last couple of days. I took a little vacation trip with my kids and my buddy Joe, his wife Jackie, and their son George, and we went down to Universal Studios in Hollywood. Had a good road trip. My kid's mom Meg was kind enough to lend us her van for the road trip, which allowed us to fit all six of us in a car, and it was an experience. It was a great freaking time. We started the vacation actually the night before our trip by going and seeing the Super Mario movie. And in the parking lot, I surprised them by giving each person a shirt that had their name on it, and a design that I designed with a character from Super Nintendo, and then on the back a logo from our combined trip, which I'll throw up on the screen here as well. And they all appreciated their shirt, and it allowed us to be a kind of a tribe of sorts as we went on this adventure and went to Super Nintendo World and Universal Studios. That was the main purpose of the trip, was actually going to Super Nintendo World, taking our boys down there, getting to experience it. Joe, my buddy, told me that we chose the absolute worst weekend to go. He had said that early on because it was the weekend after the movie came out, which ended up being one of the biggest animated movie releases of all time. Yes, it was very crowded at Super Nintendo World. But we were in. We were doing it. We had a spring break trip planned. We were making it happen, and we were starting with Super Nintendo World. There's lots of different areas in Universal Studios that you can go and visit, and Super Nintendo World is the farthest, but the most sought after currently, obviously, as it's the newest area that just opened up 2 months ago. So we get up early. We go pick up my buddy Joe and his family. We do the road trip down. We check into the Airbnb and chill the first day. And then the next morning we get up early, get out the door, make sure we're getting there by 8 a.m. For the early, let in sort of situation that we had passes for. So we were able to go to Super Nintendo World, and there's only one ride in Super Nintendo World. It ended up breaking down before we even got on it, and we hung out in line for an hour and a half, just waiting for the ride to pick back up and so we could make that happen. It was a Mario Kart ride, and it was all right. I will tell you that I failed miserably at the Mario Kart ride because I didn't realize there were buttons on the steering wheel that you had to push to shoot at the other things. So I just was like, I don't know what's going on here, but let's do this, right? I think the kids had fun. The Super Nintendo World as a whole, not the best from a parental experience. Waiting that long for one ride and then another hour for a micro activity where you go around and bop clocks, which is, just not a great design for a game. Not the best. There were other micro activities that we opted not to do in order to go see the rest of the park. And so we cut our losses about halfway through. We went and got lunch, and then went to other areas of the park. We went to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. We went to the Simpsons area. We went, to a lot of the other different areas, and we kind of started touching on those places. And we got the kids the wands at the Harry Potter area. And they could cast spells in that area. It was pretty cool. We did not try a butterbeer. None of us were particularly interested in doing that. I would have tried it. I would have taken a sip, but I didn't need to drink the whole thing. And I was like, no, okay, I'm good with not doing it. So we started there. We saw a couple of the sites, and then we called it a little bit early. Went home back to the Airbnb. And made some dinner. I think we made dinner that first night, and went back the next day and did it again, but didn't go to the Super Nintendo World. We stayed away from there and went to some of the other attractions. And we one of the highlights of the park for me and for Joe was Waterworld. Joe had wanted to see Waterworld since he was a kid, the Waterworld show since he was a kid, and has fond memories of biking across town with his brother to go see the movie. Not the best movie in the world, but the live show was awesome. So if you end up going to Universal Studios at any point, highly recommend checking out Waterworld. It's like a 22-minute action movie played out right live in front of you, which is incredible. Explosions, water everywhere. There's splash rows where if you're sitting in the splash rows, you will get wet. They have sprayers of water that'll soak the crowd. They took buckets and would pour them and splash at everybody in the crowd. They wanted you to feel the water, be a part of the water in the water world, right? So yeah, you're there. But I mean, what a great experience. There's this plane that crashes down onto the set. I mean, it's incredible. It was a very lively show, and we wanted to see it a second time, but we didn't get a chance to. And overall, just a good getaway. And I really appreciate and find myself fortunate to have friends who get kind of some of the struggles that my kids have, and that I get the struggles that their kid has, and that we can just align and support each other with that. I mean, these are lifelong friends that I really find myself, valuable to have. Right, I'm lucky to have them in our lives, and what a great trip for us to go down. And then we just went back to the Airbnb after that second day, chilled a little bit more, and took off the following morning, but not before visiting the Wonder Years house. I grew up on the Wonder Years. It was a big part of my youth, and something that's really important to me. And I've been by the Wonder Years house a couple of times in my life. We were staying in Burbank, and we're a mile and a half from the Wonder Years house. So I actually did a morning jog and ended up over at the Wonder Years house, and as it saw it then. But the next morning, before we left, we went and I got a picture with my buddy Joe in front of the Wonder Years house, which is cool. Again, very important things to me. So it was cool to be able to share that with a friend. So that was our trip, our getaway, and it was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it, and glad to have those experiences. Don't know that we'll do a theme park again like that, but no one else I'd rather do it with, so that's cool. All right, let's get into our content for today. Again, we have 40 Feet Tall on the program. We are going to bring them in. Let's bring in Cole and Ian from 40 Feet Tall. How you doing, Ian?
Oh, not bad, man. Not bad. Just waking up.
Yeah. You sleep? You sleeping pretty late? Are you a late sleeper?
Yeah, I bartend typically, so it's like I don't get home until like 4:30, 5 a.m.
Yeah. So that's gonna push those hours later. I can't do it. Like even if I stay up late, I go to a show or whatever. Like 6 o'clock would be sleeping in for me. So it's pretty tough. But goodbye.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Waiting on Cole here. I gave him a couple of calls. So you should
he's joining. He's joining right now. So.
Oh, sweet.
Cool.
Hey there.
There.
Hey.
How's it going?
Not bad. How you doing today, Cole?
I'm doing good.
Are you just waking up too?
A little bit earlier, but more or less.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. So, um, I interviewed you guys a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you remember? Yeah, I was in an Airbnb,
Yeah,
which
yeah, yeah.
really shitty service, and the Wi-Fi was spotty. Like I had to take the interview in like the closet of the
Totally.
Airbnb.
Yeah.
I'm like, I remember, I just remember, I don't even remember what town I was in, but it was like a getaway. It was like a fuck COVID getaway of
Totally.
like, with my ex-girlfriend of like, we just got to get out and go
Yeah.
somewhere. And then I'm like, I got this interview,
Right.
and then there was no like cell service anywhere in the town. I was like, I even went down to the beach and was like, it'd be cool to do it in front of the beach, right? That'd be cool. But no service
yeah.
there either. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, best bet is in this closet at the Airbnb. So it went. Yeah, you guys had a tour that you just rolled through. How was the tour?
It was good. Yeah, it was just a little West Coast jaunt. 10 days, 7 shows, and then we had like I think 3 days off, and then headed off to Treefort. So yeah, it was great. It was really fun, and it was the first tour with vinyl, so that was really fun to kind of sling the vinyl around for everyone. And yeah,
You got a good response with the vinyl?
we did. Yeah, yeah, we sold a good chunk. I don't know. I think I mean, I think during tour there was, I think Spin Magazine or something released like, it's the first time that vinyl has outsold CDs in the last 23 years or something.
Wow.
And we were like, okay, well, we're on the right track.
Doing the right things. Do you do vinyl yourself also? Like, do you listen to albums on vinyl?
Yeah, we both have, all of us have vinyl collections. Ian's vinyl collection is insane. He's got stacks and stacks.
Yeah. I've never gotten into it myself, but I do miss the days of the CDs, and having those. And now it's like there's nowhere to play it. I can play it in my car, but it's just so inconvenient, But
But we got tapes too, which was fun. But like so many people were like, I'm buying like 3 tapes. I don't have anywhere to play it, but I want it.
Just want it. Yeah. It's, because no one does that anymore, right? But it's the coolest thing to just have it. You could even sell them blank tapes, and
I know, truly.
I'd be like, it's on there. You just gotta trust us. It's okay.
Trust me.
You'll never know. Yeah. Sell some VHS tapes while you're at it, and you'll be good. So the new music videos.
Yeah, that's a great idea too.
Yeah. I'm from the Bay, Sacramento and San Francisco. I wish I could have made one of your shows, but I had kids that night, so I wasn't able to make it. But how are those shows in particular?
I would say LA was like definitely a relief, but it was like the first one for sure. It was kind of like a little bit, it was challenging because we were playing for a huge room and we only had like, I think about 75 in ticket sales, but still like every one of those like 70 people kind of like came to the front, so it felt full in a sense.
Yeah.
But LA was great. I mean, that's like Cole and Jack's hometown, so
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. And in San Francisco was Cafe du Nord, is that right?
Yeah. Okay. That was the one that was a little bit tougher. We were just the booking process on that was a little skewed, but yeah. But LA was great, and first time at the Moroccan Lounge, and it's a cool spot. I don't know if you've been there, but
I haven't. No.
Yeah, it was our first time, and it really cool spot. Yeah. But
that's cool. And you said you did Treefort. So many bands do Treefort. Tell me about that festival and what that was like.
Yeah, Treefort. This is our second time doing it, and it's just, I mean, we don't have a ton of music festivals under our belt, but it's just done so well, and it's music before all else. I mean, I think last year we'd come from South by Southwest to Treefort, and it was just night and day. Like, it's just about meeting bands and people, and the amount of friends and connections that we made, and just seeing new music, and it was great. It's great. It's like it was a little tough this year because it was fucking cold. We played our first show at 4 p.m. was outside, and it started snowing.
Oh, I saw the video. I saw video of
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it
Yeah,
looked like it looked almost like a filter. You know,
yeah,
it was coming down. You know.
yeah. It was kind of cool. Like it was just like, but it was fucking cold.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Your first show in the snow, I imagine, right?
First show, hopefully last, but you never know.
That's pretty gnarly. And so, did you? What bands did you kind of get to see or get to meet that you might want to tour with maybe in the future?
Unknown Mortal Orchestra.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
Always.
Yeah.
We saw this band, You Said Strange. They're from Normandy, France, and we got to hang out with them. And they were coming through Portland. We were supposed to open up with them. It didn't end up happening, but we got to see them, and they so good. So hopefully something in the future happens with them. But yeah, they were sweethearts, and just like their show was amazing. Yeah, and they actually came to see us, and it was just a fun little like, "Oh, they're so good," and we were like, "No, you're so good." Like it was fun.
You were
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great really good vibe with those other bands, right? So, yeah. So Tunnel Vision, like, how was the response to it on tour? Did you find a lot of people who had already listened to it and kind of knew the songs?
Yeah. I mean, I think we've been playing those songs live for a while. But yeah, I mean, I think it was definitely a good response. I think these songs are like a little bit more experimental and less kind of, I don't know, straight ahead punk, post punk. There's just like a lot more going on with them. So I think it was nice to showcase that side of ourselves where, I don't know, it's a little softer. There's a little more experimentation going on or whatever.
Yeah, I could sense that in the album too. So tell me about your approach with this EP versus versus your past albums that kind of have a little bit different feel.
I mean, well, so the Boil and Tunnel Vision, the last two EPs we put out, those were recorded at the same time. Initially, we were gonna just put it out as an album, but the label, we all decided to kind of stagger it out. Just, the more releases, the more opportunities you have to kind of catch someone's eye, I guess. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that, we recorded at Trash Treasury, all of it, with Cameron Spees, who was just an incredible producer. And I don't know, I mean, I think, these batch of songs, Boil and Tunnel Vision, this was the first time with recording with Ian. The last album was with our old drummer, Stevie. And so this feels like, okay, finally, this is us. People really can hear us. People can really, yeah. So it felt really good to finally get out all of the songs that feel like our contemporary selves.
Yeah. And Ian, for you, like with coming into, the band that already had the dynamic, you tell me about how that experience was for you.
It was, dare I say, love at first sight. I just got asked to play, like, help them out with a few shows, and it's like long story short, met these guys that I immediately clicked with, like, on a personal level versus just with music. I mean, they sent me all of the material to listen to and study up on for the shows, and my happy ass did not really do that. And I was basically like every day going to practice, like listening to as many songs as I could on the drive over, just to get a basic idea. But it's like, I would say it's still like clicked, like we just like all meshed also musically. And, it's like moving past like all the songs that somebody else played drums on and finally getting to like put my piece into it. It's just like, I still feel like so much more connected. I feel like we're all kind of speaking our own sentences here. It's not like, I'm speaking a book that somebody else has written. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what was your experience like compared to other projects that you've done, Ian? Like, I mean, what was that? What was the differences?
Well, I mean, definitely different. Like the more recent band I was in before 40 Feet Tall was kind of a bit more butt rocky. And I mean, prior to that, it's like I was just kind of like playing in all kinds of different groups once I moved to Portland. And it was all like very sort of like straight indie rock, but with like 40 Feet Tall, I feel like we were able to kind of take it more in a punk direction. And it's like, it's wild because originally I'm a jazz drummer, and it's like the beauty of jazz is like if you don't swing it, it kind of turns into punk music.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me, Ian, about the differences between jazz drumming and punk rock drumming. Like, I mean, how did you get to this point, and what brought you here?
Well, I mean, like I would typically play like bebop, which is also pretty fast paced, and like just using a lot of the same sort of like rudiments and like styles that are within jazz. It's like I'm able to also put those into 40 Feet Tall. Like, I mean, Cole, Brett, and Jack just, they allow me so much creative freedom on the drums, and it's like I'm able to just like, provide something that like I enjoy versus like, playing some standard in like a jazz band of some sort. I mean, in Santa Cruz, it was a lot of just like bluegrassy type of shit that I was playing. All dad gigs, as I usually say.
Yeah, you found your spot, so that's good.
Totally.
And while we're talking about other outlets, Cole, you have a couple other bands too, Holloway and A Fish in the River. Like, tell me about those projects, and what's different for those projects for you.
Yeah, well, you've done your research. Yeah, Holloway. We started that band, 4 years ago or something, 5 years ago. Our lead singer, about like a year and a half ago or something, moved down to LA, so it's kind of nebulous. They came up for a show a few months ago, and it was like the first show we'd had in a long time. So we're kind of, we're on pause and whatever, but we're trying to write and record new stuff when we can. And then A Fish in the River is a pretty new project it's Stevie and John. Stevie is 40 Feet Tall's old drummer, so we keep it in the family.
Yeah.
So it's Stevie and John from Holloway, just minus the lead singer. And it's John's project. He writes all of this stuff, and then we kind of throw in our 2 cents. But it's much more. Holloway is kind of, I don't know, what would you say, in like grungy indie kind of.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit more like, it's got some Duster vibes to it a little bit. Like it's very kind of like almost like slowcore in some places too. Some of those songs really like kind of slow down and just hit the sludge, but other of them are like kind of reminiscent of like, I want to say like Modest Mouse almost.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then A Fish in the River is it's got some like folk aspects to it. John writes very like folky inspired lyrics that are also very metal inspired, like kind of just nature oriented and almost medieval in aspects. And it's got some more like doom areas. He's got a good doom scream. So
yeah. That's cool. So I was listening to a podcast that you guys did. Someone said they like to shower while drinking beer. Who is that?
It's probably Ian.
Okay, was it Ian? It was you? Yeah. the beer in the shower.
Everyone loves a good shower beer, though. I'm partial to it.
Yeah, I can't hate on it. I'm usually quick. A quick shower. I'm like, I just got to get in and get it done. Sort of thing. Yeah. So.
Oh
yeah. I'll drink a shower beer. I'll meditate. I'll just be hanging.
Well, the beauty is the shower beer can also not be the shower beer. You can like take it in the shower, but then finish it outside the shower.
It goes with you where you go. So
completely mobile. Like
no bag.
I'm just like ashamed that I can't take it in the car with me.
Yeah. You know, who's to stop you? Probably not advisable, I guess, but you know, but yeah. So I want to hear the story behind where the punishment came from for not locking the van, having to do push-ups, and you know, when the van isn't locked. Did something happen there?
I think, well, the van doesn't lock, like if you lock it with the key, it doesn't lock the entire van. So every single person has to do their own door. And you know, we space out here and there for sure. You're exhausted coming back from a show at 1 a.m. And I think it was Brett who was like, we gotta put some in, like, incentive to, you know, figure this out. And we're pretty damn good at it now. But the first tour there were definitely a lot of push-ups.
No one wants to do push-ups after a show, right? So
Yeah.
but it didn't stem from like the van being broken into or no gear
No,
taken or
luckily
anything?
it was preventative, thank God. Yeah. We've had good luck, knock on wood, with that so far. So we're pretty good
Yeah.
about like taking all of our most valuable gear out. You know, if we're staying at a hotel or something, we pedal boards, guitars, breakables, like those all come out, and we'll leave the amps and like the drums. And if someone wanted to take that, you know, but
Right.
it's heavy as fuck, and it would be, you know,
Yeah.
but you do what you can.
That's good. Yeah. You hear too many stories about bands getting their shit stolen and then,
Yeah,
you know,
it's terrifying.
yeah, followed
Right.
by a Kickstarter and, you know,
Right.
or GoFundMe. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. Your on and on and on video is like, I love what you compared it to, by the way. Like it's like everything everywhere all at once. I got the same feeling with that video. It's like I just watched everything everywhere all at once like last week for the first time.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what I saw still afterwards, but you know, tell me how that video came about, and was that the intent to kind of, you know, kind of have that feel?
I mean, Brett came up with the idea. He's kind of our wizard when it comes to music videos. And he, I don't know, I think like we just done a bunch of different he just wanted to kind of incorporate all of the different aspects that we had in our previous videos, and bring in some new ones too. But I don't know exactly where that idea came from, but you know, it's the 40 feet tall universe, I guess.
Yeah.
Coming together. So,
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
yeah, it's fun.
We talked a little bit earlier about shows in San Francisco. You went to Outside Lands though, right? Did you play Outside Lands?
No, we'd love to if you got an email, but
Right.
no, we haven't done Outside Lands.
But you went to it and saw Wilco?
Oh, I think Brett and Jack, because they met each other in San Francisco. They went to school in San Francisco.
Okay.
So I think that they definitely went to Outside Lands.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. So I haven't been to Outside Lands yet, actually, which is
Yeah, I've never been.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to go this year. Foo Fighters are playing, so I want to see that. See
Who are they gonna have drumming?
I heard like Josh Freese might be in contention.
Who's
Like
that?
he was like in Queens of the. He's been in a bunch of stuff, Queens of the Stone Age and other stuff, I think. So, but there's still rumors. I've heard other rumors of other people too. So, I mean, they haven't announced anything yet. And they have shows already on the books for May. So I'm assuming we'll find out the next 2 months.
Get his kid. He was amazing.
Yeah. I know, right? You know, so that's the thing, right? Could you take someone who's under 18 to do that, and when you're dealing with a bunch of middle-aged rockers, even though they're one of the greatest fans out there, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, he could absolutely do it, but then that's his life, right?
So yeah, let him have a childhood.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. Also, that girl Mandy. I don't know if you saw that, like the 11-year-old girl from England who had that like drum off with Dave Grohl. And
no, I didn't see that. Holy shit!
Oh, it was a big thing during COVID. Like she challenged him to a drum off, and he heard wind of it, and like they had this back and forth virtual thing, and she ended up coming to their show in LA and drumming, I think, in Everlong in LA and everything. And she's this badass drummer, and
That's
like
sick.
so many other rock stars have like brought her under their wing too. So
That's great. That's awesome.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, got a big future ahead.
Yeah.
Um, so how did your song get used in an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie? Killing Gunther, is that what
Killing Gunther, yeah. We got it placed through this was a long time ago. We were working with Art Ford, and we got it placed through him, and it was it was a funny. I don't know actually. I don't think I ever actually saw the movie, but yeah, it's a fun ride.
It happened. It's there's like no, I don't need to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I nothing again. I don't know. It was.
It's okay. You can say it. You know, his movies aren't what they used to be, probably, right? So,
I mean, hey, having a movie with Schwarzenegger in it, fuck, like,
it's a cool thing, right? You can it's on the resume. You don't have to see it. It's you know.
We should see it. We should definitely watch it. I think Jack and Brett watched it actually.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. One day, when you're bored,
I'll break out that VCR.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. What do you like to watch? What do you like when you have time to sit down and watch? What do you like binging?
Ian?
I think you should leave.
What's that?
Oh, it's Tim Robbins, and it's kind of like, it's very obscure humor, but it's a great show, man. You should check it out. There's also another I keep trying to get the guys to watch. Detroiters is the name of it, and that's also Tim Robbins and Sam Richardson. And it's kind of like if like Always Sunny met Mad Men almost. It's hilarious.
Yeah, man, that's a great description.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Always Sunny is great. Yeah, I went down to LA last year, or I don't know, a couple months ago at least, and I was like, I got to go to where they shoot outside patties, right? Like I went to that building where they shoot outside patties.
Well, I'm always so curious, like how much of it, because most of it is in LA, but they do have to get some, shots of Philly, like.
Yeah, they shoot in Philly some too. I don't know if they have a soundstage there or what, but they definitely get shots there and do part of it there. And I've heard, I listen to their podcast too. Like they do some episodes will even be part LA, part Philly. It seems like a lot of work to shoot in two sides of the country, right?
Totally.
But it's cool. Let me see. And seeing if there was what else I wanted to hit with you guys, but you had done some YouTube live streams, like and you did covers, and that kind of leads into the cover that you guys did. You did Tears for Fears Shout. How did that come about?
We just we had a massive list of songs that we were trying to choose from, and literally that was the only one we could kind of all agree on. I don't know, I mean, none of us really have like any good story with it or any like big emotional connection to it, but it just was the one that like clicked. But it even took a while. I mean, we were like working on it. It was like, I don't know, are we doing this right? Like, is this the right blah blah blah? And then I think I just like sat down. I was like, let's play this like we would write our own song. Let's just, and so we like, Jack and I were playing these kind of like counterpoint riffs, and Ian just started playing a drum beat that we'd probably like write a song with, and then once we got there, we're like, oh, okay, here we go. But yeah, it didn't click. It was definitely like we had to really work on that one, which is that happens. It's fun, and sometimes that means it's much more satisfying.
Yeah, and the video on the beach, was that kind of, just part of the planning as well? It just kind of led into that video, like, okay, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna.
Well, I mean, it's pretty much a shot for shot until 2/3 in of their music video.
Yeah. So who planned out all the shooting for that? Like, okay, we're gonna make sure we copy these shots exactly.
Brett, pretty much, yeah. We all kind of, helped bring it all together, but yeah, Brett was, getting every single shot lined up, and Stevie, our buddy, who we mentioned before, he was the one who was on the camera the whole time. And yeah, I mean, it was just like, I think a lot of our music videos are very, like, there's just a lot going on. We have, like, this one was just iPhone, shit, let's just go to the coast and shoot this thing on the weekend, and it was very low budget and just kind of thrown together. But
It was like no budget.
yeah, no,
Zero budget.
that's money to get out to the
You had to pay, to make that happen. But yeah, are there other songs you just even in practicing like to cover, or that you could see yourself playing live?
Well, speaking of Foo Fighters, we did Everlong, which was fun.
Nice.
We did Total Football by Parquet Courts, which is one of my favorite covers.
Covered a few OC songs as well.
Yeah.
We did Poor Queen as well as Toe Cutter Thumb Buster.
Yeah.
And, we also covered the Sonics.
Oh yeah, we did that for we did The Witch for Halloween, which was super fun.
Yeah, tell me about that. What went into that?
I don't know. I mean, it just fit the vibe of a Halloween show.
Yeah.
And I think you were the one that brought it up, Ian.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
it's just a fun fucking song.
It's not Monster Mash, but it still has kind of like a Halloween vibe to it. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you hit the theme. So you have some downtime at home. Tell me about what you got cooking for next couple of months. Are you taking some time to do you take some time to write? Do you have shows lined up? What does that look like?
We're going up to Bellingham this weekend to just kind of do a one-off, and then we have one more show in Tacoma. April's a little more chill, but still busy.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to try and write a little bit more, and then May we're back on the road a little bit, going down to play Topanga Days in LA, and a show in San Francisco on the way down, and then we're doing a little tour with Spoonbenders. They're another incredible local Portland band.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so it's busy. It keeps going.
Keeping busy. Do you know where you're playing in San Francisco, or?
It is called it's a newer spot, Kilowatt. It's
I don't think
I don't know if you know the band Nobody's Baby, but it's like owned by two of the members, I think. And so it's this cool. We've never been, but heard great things. Yeah, excited to play it.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are getting after it and doing it, and congrats on the new EP. Also, I mean, I know it's not. It's a little age. It's got some time, but it's congrats on getting out and getting those songs live and everything. So, yeah. All right, guys. So I'll let you have rest of your day. I hope you have a great day ahead, and yeah, we'll catch you out there. Okay.
Cool. Cheers, man. Thank you. Great talking to you.
That was the interview with 40 Feet Tall here on Concert Pipeline. That takes us to the final segment on the program, the music news. I have a couple of stories here to wind out the program in the music news. First is about Jack Black, and this is a tie-in to our program today, what we talked about earlier in the show about Super Nintendo World. Jack Black dropped a music video for Super Mario Brothers movie song Peaches. And if you haven't seen the movie yet, then this song you'll find is really very catchy. It's, really just him as Bowser singing about the character Peaches. Peaches, 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 peaches. And And so he does this music video all on a soundstage that is completely in the color peach, and with a piano that's peach, and it's simple and effective and hilarious and right up completely Jack Black. He embraced this character of Bowser, and it just fits his personality so well. Can't say I'm the biggest fan of the movie as a whole, but Jack Black was a shining star in the movie, for sure, as Bowser. So you could check out his music video for Peaches, and I mean that's really all there is to that story. Check out Peaches. Okay, Queen say that they're considering releasing new music with Adam Lambert. They say it would have to be something so special that we would feel we would want to launch it to the public. And so, of course, Freddie Mercury died in 1991. The band first toured with singer Paul Rogers in 2004. Since 2011, Lambert has done live with the band. So we're over 12 years into Adam Lambert's tenure with Queen. And Brian May said on US radio, we've dabbed a little. It is just that you haven't heard any of it. It would have to be something so special, you know. And Adam Lambert said, it's a lot of pressure if you think about it. Would you say he's under pressure? Is that what he'd say? It's a lot of pressure if you think about it. If they're going to put something out that's new, it's got to be at a certain level. It has to be the right thing. And I've always said, is it appropriate for me to be doing new material? I feel like it scares me. Okay, I think he's earned enough tenure with the band that they can release new music, and they better start doing it soon. They are not a young band. He said Adam, Roger, and himself have been in the studio trying things out just because things came up, but up to this point, we haven't felt that anything we've done has hit the button the right way. So it's not like we're closed to the idea. It's just that it hasn't happened yet. But May was knighted by King Charles at Buckingham Palace on March 14th. So he is royalty now. Is that what a knight is? I don't know. He's well respected in the English community, of course. Speaking of English music, an unheard version of David Bowie's "Let's Dance" is going to be released. This is something different. David simply imagined a more dreamy electronic version, an unheard version of that is going to be released alongside a series of NFTs to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Let's Dance. Blockchain platform Gala Music has teamed up with writer and producer Larry Droskin, who worked with Bowie, Robert Plant, Bono, and the Beach Boys, to release a limited series of David Bowie-inspired digital collectibles. That's going to go live April 14th, giving fans early access to a previously unheard version of Let's Dance, which was recorded 19 years after the original. This producer says, I'm first and foremost a huge Bowie fan. It would have been a mistake to attempt to copy the original. This is something different. David simply imagined a more dreamy electronic version. He's the original disruptor of expectations. And you can, of course, purchase these as non-fungible tokens. I didn't know we still did those. I thought that was just a fad, but apparently not. Metallica has announced 72 seasons residency on Jimmy Kimmel Live. They're going to release their new album very soon. They're performing every night from the night that this episode drops, Monday, April 10th, to Thursday, the 13th, ahead of the official release of their new album, 72 Seasons. It's in a first for the Jimmy Kimmel Live show. It's Metallica Week, as we will be the musical guests each night, beginning on Monday, April 10th. They said they'll be playing live for all 4 shows, and you also catch us on the couch chatting with Jimmy one night. Keep your eyes peeled for other sightings during the broadcast, as we really don't know what else Jimmy will get us involved in. The hijinks that will ensue with Metallica. So Kimmel hosted the group's All Within My Hands benefit concert and auction in December, and I guess they hit it off from there. This is their 11th studio album, and I think they put out a music video for a song or something. I honestly haven't listened to any of it yet. Is it good? I don't know. So we're going to find out what they have up their sleeves on Jimmy Kimmel. Okay. Diddy says he was joking about being forced to pay Sting $5,000 a day for the rest of his life. It was in relation to a sample he used in 1997 hit I'll Be Missing You. He backtracked over comments he made in which he said that earlier this week he responded to a resurfaced interview with the musician in which the police frontman said he received royalties for their hit 1983 single, Every Breath You Take, which Diddy sampled in one of his most famous tracks, I'll Be Missing You. The hip hop icon was said to have been forced to pay the ongoing fee after sampling the track without permission in 1997. Diddy then tweeted to confirm he pays Sting $5K a day, but he took to Twitter to set the record straight and said his previous tweet was a joke. Yeah, I want you all to understand I was joking. It's called being facetious, whatever the word is. Me and Sting have been friends for a long time. He never charged me $3K or $5K a day for missing you. He probably makes more than $5K a day from one of the biggest songs in history. So all just a joke. Everybody can relax. Okay. I don't know how true this next story is. We like to close with stories about the Foo Fighters when we can, and Dave Grohl in particular. He's a legend. The Foo Fighters have reportedly tapped iconic grunge drummer for live shows following Taylor Hawkins' death. They may find a new drummer, and that is Matt Cameron, who played with Soundgarden and now serves as Pearl Jam's drummer. They'll sit behind the kit when the Foo Fighters return to the stage. That's what this article says, but I haven't seen anything official announced from the actual Foo Fighters yet. And of course, the whole band is set to return in May. So we're not too far away from the show's actually happening and finding out who is going to sit behind the kit to replace Taylor Hawkins, at least for their live shows, right? And Cameron, who is a close friend of Hawkins, is lined up to play with their upcoming shows, sources told The Sun. Angels and Airwaves drummer Adam Willard is also being considered. The two might rotate before the group decides on a permanent new drummer. The quote is, the Foos have been working with a number of musicians close to Taylor and the band over the past few months. Matt and Adam are frontrunners to drum at the gigs, the first of which is in May. Primarily, it'll be Matt, but Adam will be on rotation with them. They've both been rehearsing at Studio 606, the Foo studio. The source says the final arrangements are still being made, but Cameron is the top candidate to play drums for them. So we're over a year at this point since we lost Taylor Hawkins. That year anniversary passed March 25th. So we'll see who shows. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing the Foo Fighters in August at Outside Lands in San Francisco. I've never been to an Outside Lands, so we'll see how that shapes up or if it happens. All right, that is our show for today. So thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. And next time on the program, we have Mark Broussard returning to the program as well, and had a really fun chat with him. So for all of us here at Concert Pipeline, I'm Steve Jones. We'll catch you next time.